Hey everybody, Coach Allison, and I have week 15 Defy Aging to run through with you. This week is a little different. We have two circuits and they're both very different. Circuit A is going to be timed for 10 minutes and you're working at your own space, so in your own little area, and you're going through as many rounds as possible. So we call that an AMRAP, as many rounds as possible. So you got 10 minutes on the clock to run through these three exercises. So of course the reps, there's designated number of reps. First exercise, dumbbell reverse alternating overhead press. I don't know what else to call that. It's a very long title, but let me show you what that will look like. Oops, have this a little bit low. Okay, so this is different than a standard overhead press in that the weights are actually going to start in the up position. So you're going to start the weights here, and we're going to bring down, so this is the alternating part. So alternating, lowering, as opposed to a more standard would be alternating with lift, right? So it's very, very different. Now I guarantee you, your mind is going to want to kind of let the other arm sink down as you're bringing one arm down. So use the mirrors to help you, because that can really help. So as I'm bringing one arm down, I'm leaving that other arm straight up. Of course, a slight bend in the elbow. So that is going to be 10 total, 5 each side. All right. Next one is a core exercise. You're on the floor. It's called the starfish. All right. So on the floor, legs are kind of apart, arms are up over your head, and we're going to do sort of a crunch, lifting the head, shoulder, and upper back off the floor, reaching for the opposite leg. So that is your starfish. All right, that's going to be 10 total as well, 5 each side. An alternate for that to keep you off the floor if needed. Actually, it looks exactly the same. You're just standing, really. So movement's the same. Arms are up, legs are, of course, run right below you. And we're going to do a high knee and reach for that opposite knee. Now, of course, this one will incorporate much more balance because you don't need to balance when you're laying flat on the floor. This one you do. But that is going to be the option to keep you off the floor. And the third exercise for this little circuit A, 20 jumping jacks. Standard jacks, of course, and we always have the option of a full step jack as an option to remove the impact. So again, that dumbbell reverse alternating overhead press, 5 each side, starfish, 5 each side, jumping jacks, 20. So you run through that, and it's called an AMRAP, as many rounds as possible. So see how many rounds you can get through of that in the 10 minutes. Then circuit B is going to be our standard circuit, rotating around. So your coach will have the stations all set up and ready for you. Oh, let's go through those movements. The first one, stability ball hip bridge. This one's pretty challenging. All right, got our stability ball. Going to come out pretty far so I can hopefully get all myself in this frame. Yep, there we go. So your heels are on the center of the ball. We don't want to start the ball too far up. Your whole calf shouldn't be on the ball. So really just your heel on the center, and then you'll notice just a little bit of my ankles is on the ball as well. So that's the positioning you want. You can lay down, head resting on the floor. You want to flip your palms up as opposed to down, and that's just a safer shoulder position. Okay, it helps you to retract your shoulders, whereas palms down, you tend to protract your shoulders. So anyway, from here we keep a slight bend in the knees, so don't have your legs perfectly straight. Slight bend in the knees, and we lift the hips into that hip bridge, lower down. So of course, a standard hip bridge, you're getting glutes and hamstrings, but now we're adding this element of instability, so you're needing to stabilize as well, because of course the ball wants to roll all over the place, right? Like I just did. So this is your stability ball hip bridge. Try the ball. If it's not working for you, we're going to go to a standard hip bridge, feet on the floor, and pressing with the feet flat on the floor, still lifting the hips off the floor. And your alternate to keep you off the floor is going to be a deadlift, because that targets the same muscles, hamstrings and glutes. You can do dumbbells or kettlebell. You all know deadlifts very well. We do them a lot. So hinging at your hips, folding forward. Your hands stay very close to the body, so the arms shouldn't be way out here. Notice how as I'm hinging at my hip, joint, my butt and my hips go farther back. And then you kind of bring the hips forward as you stand up. Keep your back very flat. We want to avoid this rounded back. Anywho, that's your alternate if needed. All right, the next one, TRX row. I have to go to a different spot. I'll be right back. Okay, so the next one in the circuit is the TRX row. So of course, each club has the TRXs set up on the turf to use for this circuit. So let's run through that one very quickly. Okay, the farther you step your feet under, the harder this is going to be. So you're in control of the challenge level. Make sure you're letting your arms come all the way, or your body come all the way back so that your arms are straight. And we pull up, keeping the elbows close into the side of the body, so not letting them flare out. And you want to squeeze those shoulder blades together at the top. So again, now this would make it a little bit easier because I stepped my feet farther forward. This would make it harder because I stepped farther down. So you work to your level. What you want to avoid is letting any slack go in the TRX. And what happens, or when you do that, that means you're coming up too far. So look at the TRX. See how they're staying nice and tight? Now, if I was to come up too far, now they're getting slack, right? So only come up as high as you can until you feel that the tension would release and there will be slack in the TRX. And that is our TRX back row. The next one is a goblet box squat. Goblet box squat. So you need a kettlebell and something to sit on. All right. A box squat is a squat in which you come all the way down to a chair, bench, whatever. All the way down. So you fully sit, but not like you sit like 80%. Explain what that means. So a goblet is going to hold the weight at the chest height, but not resting against your body. So make sure there's a little bit of air between the kettlebell and your actual body. Make sure the chair is right behind you. All right, we sit all the way down in a squat position. Come all the way up. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward, right? But I do want to show you a couple things. All right, sit down, with your hips going back first, just like you would do. Like this is a standard squat, right? So hips back first, all the way down on the chair, all the way up. So what I meant by take like an 80% sit, what I meant by that is you do sit all the way down. So my whole weight's here. So I'm not like stopping right here where there's a little bit of air between my body and the bench, all the way down. But you don't fully rest. Like you don't actually like rest on the chair. So you keep tension in the muscles at all times. So what I mean by that is I'm not going to sit like this, rest, and then use momentum to get up. So it all happens very smooth. Could you see how that's like 80% down? Kinda. I hope that makes sense. So that is our box squat. You can do that body weight, of course, and choose not to use a weight if that's where you would prefer to work. The next one is a chest press, up, up, down, down pattern. So little bit of got a little flair to it because we're going to do that up, up, down, down. So you're on your back for this with a weight in each hand. The best way to get in this position, have your weights in your hands resting on your legs before you lay down, and then lay down with them. I want you to do that instead of like laying down, then grabbing the weight and trying to bring it up here. That's really rough on your biceps, your shoulders. So have the weights with you as you lay down. Okay, so rest the head down, keep your knees bent, palms facing forward, and we're going to press up, up, down, down. So that's the pattern. A little different than just a standard double arm up and down. So very similar to the shoulder press we did earlier, that second arm that comes down, make sure it doesn't start to kind of sneak its way down while you're bringing the first arm down. So really lock that one arm in place until it's its turn to come down. When you're done with this movement, I want you to bring the base of the dumbbell down to the floor like this to release it instead of bringing it out to the side like this. Again, shoulder and bicep safety on that. And to avoid the floor, the no floor option is going to be an incline or a wall push-up. We've done them a lot. Your coach can show you how to do those if needed. So push up on an incline or on a wall is your option for no floor on that one. Final exercise, farmer's carry. All right, we do farmer's carries quite often. Same weight on each side. So pick a nice challenging weight. Safely pick them up. So bend your knees to reach down, pick them up. Once you have them, lock your shoulders down and back. Check your posture and your chest is out. Chest isn't caved in. So again, all those checkpoints, right? So this is me kind of casually holding the kettlebells, just kind of without thinking about my posture. Now I'm going to straighten it up. Posture, chest out, shoulders down and back. See that huge difference? That's what we want. Once you have the positioning with the body, we're going to go for a controlled walk, and your coach will have, whatever path set up for that. Not necessarily, you're certainly not going for speed, so please don't go fast, but you're also not going slow motion. So you want a steady, kind of a steady pace with control. All right, now 3 rounds of that, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Then we're going to do a fun team builder. That is a sword fight, kind of. It's going to be a single leg foam roller sword fight. It's hard to show you because I'm by myself, so you'll of course need to partner up. If there's an odd number, someone gets to go against the coach. Got your foam roller. We're going to do 60 seconds on each leg. I suggest starting with your weaker or less coordinated side first. So you're going to lift up the other leg, and you and your partner are going to be face to face, and you're going to be kind of hitting each other with the roller, trying to knock the other person over. I'm not going to say knock them over, but try to maybe make them have to put their foot down. That's the goal. And then your goal is to not have to put your foot down. So you're trying to work on the balance. Now, is there a purpose of really doing the sword fight part? No, that's not really working your upper body. What that's doing is kind of throwing a curveball. It's hard. Balancing is one thing, but when we balance perfectly still with our eyes forward with no movement, that's great. That's one thing. But then you start tossing in other components, right? Things throwing your body off balance. So in this case, your eyes are going to be moving, your arms are going to be moving, and you're going to be taking a little bit of a hit, literally, pun intended, to be knocking off your balance. So that's the purpose of the sword fight part, the foam roller sword fight. So 60 seconds each leg. Have fun with that, and I'll see you back next week.